Y'all, I have to tell you that I am absolutely loving this space, this YouTube space. So thank y'all so much for allowing me to have just a little corner of this space. When you see the videos, do me a favor and like the videos, comment on the videos, and absolutely share and subscribe. Okay. And today I am talking about I'm talking about 3 quick steps in order to start your book. Who's ready for that? Okay? Because y'all have been telling yourself all year that you were going to write a book. You've been telling yourself that. You're like, you know what? So much has happened in my life. I need to write a book. Where do I start? And I'm going to help you with that today. Can I do it? Can I do it? Y'all ready? I want to be able to help y'all with that because whether you know it or not, a book is not just about publishing a book. A book is about your message. A book is about your story. A book is about impacting the world. The book is about impacting your community. And so I'm also going to share another 3 steps in order for you to sell the book for those of you that already have your books. But I wanted to work on the people that's wanting the book, ready to do their book, but they don't know where to get started. And let me just be the one to tell you that was exactly where I was when I started my book. When I started my book, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know all the ins and outs of publishing a book. But that is the reason I do what I do and helping other people to start their stories. For those of you that's new here, or for those of you that don't know me, my name is LaNette Kincaid, the author and also writing coach. And I am passionate about helping people not only write impactful stories, but I'm also passionate about helping you to find your audience for those stories, also putting you on the correct platform for your stories. A lot of times we're so used to just sharing, and sometimes you reach an audience that they're not interested in your story. It has nothing to do with them. It's not impacting their life. It's not changing their life. And they're like, okay, well, thank you for sharing, but it is what it is, right? So I'm gonna get right on down to business because I normally only do my lives for at least 10 to 15 minutes. I try not to go over 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because after 15 minutes, I feel like you're listening to a sermon at that point, okay? And I don't want to bore you. I don't want to make it to where you're so being forced to listen to something that's really not all that interesting to you, okay? So before I start with how to get through this 3 step process of writing your book, I want to talk about why a lot of people don't get started. If you think about your experience in school, in any level of school, no one has really just cultivating the writing aspect unless it's like pre-K, and they don't really spend a lot of time on it, if we can just be honest. They're like, here's a crayon. Okay, this is how you hold your pencil, and they give you these pre-illusion type worksheets, and all you have to do is trace them, right? But when it comes down to really writing, it's almost forceful, if you can just imagine, because think about it. By the time that you get to middle school, by the time you get to high school, it's always forced, because what happened? You have the subsidized testing going on, and then it's like the standardized, excuse me, and not subsidized, but standardized, sorry. But you have that testing that's going on, and now it's forced, because if you've never had a real experience with writing, now you're forced to write a whole paper about a topic, okay? And so a lot of times you wasn't really taught to just write and write from your heart and journal. It's mostly been about, okay, you're going to be asked a question, you're going to have to elaborate on that question. Here's the 3 points that you should do: your introduction, your paragraph, your statements that's going to support that paragraph, and then your conclusion, right? And so that's what a lot of people take through life with them, especially when it comes to a book. Nobody is really in tune with where to start with the book because we've been forced to write. It's never been just writing for fun or just journaling because you want to get through your day. It's never been really about that. Okay. So, with a lot of times, people don't want to write after they become adults because they felt like all of their writing in the past have been forced. But can I break that curse today? Can I break that habit for you guys today? So, the first thing with writing your book is, first off, find out what's really genuine to your heart, because this is a thing that people don't understand about writing. And let me just say this about AI. I know a lot of people love AI. And someone asked me the other day, would I write a book with AI? I personally would not write a book with AI unless it was like a ebook that was less than 85 pages. And I will tell you why. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I love you guys. So the reason why I would not write with AI, because AI in a lot of cases sounds robotic. The thing that I want people to understand, if you're forcing yourself to write it, people are forcing themselves to read it. If people can feel your emotion while you're writing, then they can also, when they can feel your emotion, when you're writing it. For example, I had one of my clients, Kevin Hartman, Pastor Kevin Hartman. He wrote a book about a journey through grief. And one of the things is every single page, I could feel the emotion running off that page. And it's a really good book. It's on Amazon. I ain't trying to plug nobody, but it is what it is. So the first thing is find out what you're passionate about. What is it that you're passionate about? And I'm just wanting to tell you, if you're in the workplace right now, and let's say if you're an HR director, you're leaving money on the table if you're not writing a book about that position. If you are someone that's working in customer service in any capacity, you're leaving money on the table when you're not writing a book about what you're doing right now. Why? Because you're able to share that experience every single day. For example, if you work in HR and you can give us the do's and don'ts of how to go into an interview, how to dress for an interview. What is it that we need to be doing when we go into an interview? But not only that, how should we work in the workplace? And that would be a great book, okay? Because what the first thing that people don't understand, it's only two things that we do when we're looking for information. We're going to Google it, or we're going to find out if there's a book about it already. Okay, so don't leave money on the table. Write about your experience, write about what you're doing. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the first thing is write about what you're passionate about. So the first thing is plan and outline. Plan and outline. This is step number one, plan and outline. Plan what you're going to write about and then outline it. And I'll also share this. Define your core audience, because this is something that people don't do when they're writing their book, okay? They're just like start writing their book and they don't really realize that their book is not for everyone, okay? They just start flashing their book. The minute that they have their book is published, and they start flashing it instead of creating a group that may be interested in that. For example, if you're writing about domestic violence, who would be interested in that? People that have also experienced domestic violence. If you're writing a book about divorce, who would be interested in that? People that are married, number one, and people that have gone through divorce. So not only creating what you're going to write about, but also be thinking about in your mind, in the back of your mind, who's going to want this book. Okay, because if you don't know your core audience, you're not really going to sell it. What we get in the habit of as authors, as people that's selling things in general, is we start acting like we got Coca-Cola money, okay? We start acting, if you think about it as you were growing up, Coca-Cola, you've seen it everywhere. You've seen it in every single commercial. You've seen all of your favorites in their commercials, right? Because they had Coca-Cola advertising money, okay? We do not have Coca-Cola advertising money. And that's where we make the mistake when it comes to marketing your book. So automatically, plan what you're going to write about, what you're passionate about, hopefully, and then create, in your mind, who is this for? Okay. And that's going to help you down in the long run, because then you can start catering what you're posting about on social media towards those people. Make sense? I hope so. The other thing is, then you can start journaling. A lot of people make the mistake of writing, editing, writing, editing, writing, editing, writing, editing. Okay. And your brain is not geared for that. Let me just go and put that out there. Your brain is not geared to write and edit, and write and edit. It's like turning something on and off, on and off. Your brain is not ready for that. Let me just go on and tell you. Your eyes are not ready for that. So write and journal, and write and journal. Okay, we're not at the editing part yet. We're not at the part where we're critiquing our writing yet. Okay, so don't spend time doing that. So the other thing is, when you're planning and you're outlining, remember, this is stage one. You're planning and you're outlining. We're at stage one. Don't jump ahead of me. Okay, so the first thing is, how many times that you plan to write per day, okay, or per week? How many words do you plan? Just plan small. A lot of people are like, okay, I'm gonna write one whole chapter this week. Start slow, okay? Because the ultimate reason why so many people have so many unfinished manuscripts on their shelves, because they are overwhelming themselves. And when you become overwhelmed, you're not going to write a thing, baby. You're not. Only thing you're going to do is you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to put this on the back burner. This book can wait. That's typically what people do. Okay. I work with people that have been attempting to write books for at least 5 to 10 years. And you may think, oh my God, that's a lot, or that's sad. But that is what it is. Okay. So the other thing is, while you're planning, decide, you've already figured out who your book is for. Excuse me. You've already planned what what your topic is about. You've already planned who your book is for. Then the other thing is, now you're going to plan how many times a week are you actually going to be dedicated towards your book. And let's be clear. If your boss came into you, for those of you that's in the workplace, if your boss came to you right now and say, hey, I need a 5-page paper about blah, blah, blah. Guess who's going to make sure that paper is out? You. Okay. I need 5 pages of research on this. You're going to do it. Okay. But the only reason we put writing on the back burner, because the school systems, in most cases that we have graduated from, have put writing on the back burner. Can I tell you to dust off your brain, bring the writing back up to the front? It is in the forefront now. So you decide how much time you're going to dedicate towards writing. Is it going to be 500 words? Is it going to be 1,000 words? Are you just going to use time? How much time are you going to spend writing your book? Okay. So is it going to be 30 minutes? 30 minutes every day? Is it going to be? And what I used to do, guys, I used to use my lunch break. I had an hour for lunch. I spent 30 minutes of it writing, or 30 minutes of it making content. For those of you that say, I don't have time to make content. Well, how much time are you spending on the phone with people that you don't even like? Okay. How much time are you spending texting somebody that time could be really used towards writing your book? Okay. The other thing is, set a consistent writing schedule. Okay. Now we're on 2. Draft your book over editing. Remember I told y'all that? Don't sit up and spend more time trying to edit a page of your writing. That's pointless, y'all. So set a consistent writing schedule. Focus on getting the story out. Focus on writing more so than editing. Don't spend time writing, editing, writing, editing, writing, editing, writing, editing. You're going to end up nowhere, okay? The other thing is, I use sticky notes. I love using sticky notes. So if you're the type of person that feels overwhelmed by using a tablet or a journal pad or something like that, use sticky notes. The other part of it is, y'all, we are in a century where technology has evolved. Okay, so if you're not a writer at all, use your time just using your phone. A lot of your phones have like a voice notepad. Use that in order to write your book. Okay. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in another video because I don't want to take up a lot of time. The other thing is, after you say, okay, by the time that I get to my first chapter, I'm done with my first chapter, I'm done with my third chapter, I'm done with this. And a lot of you don't know how to write in chapters, so we won't get so advanced. But after you feel like you've written like 8 pages, then that's when you can go back and say, okay, I want to go back and make sure this is polished, or I want to go back and make sure that I put the commas in the right place, for those of you that know about that. And it's not to be derogatory, because you know what? Half of America don't know where to put the commas in the right place. It just gets confusing. Let me just be honest with you. And a lot of you think you're putting in the right place, and you're actually doing what is called a comma splice. So don't worry about all of that. The one thing that I focus on when I'm helping my clients is I actually focus on the storyline. Let's get the storyline together. All of the other detail editing will come. It will come, and I promise you. All right. So the first thing, plan and outline. 2, draft over editing. Write your story out. Don't worry about editing at this point. Then number 3, go back and revise and put more into it. Now, this is the part that a lot of people will not tell you. This is why I have the job of being a writing coach. Because the third thing that you would need to do when you're telling your story, remember to be detailed, because people are not watching television. They're actually reading. So your story needs to be as colorful as possible. So when I say to go back and revise and polish your story, I'm actually talking about, making sure that your story is a complete story. If you're talking about you and your sister got in a car, go ahead and tell us what type of car it was. Some people may be interested in that. What I'm noticing from a lot of new authors is they like to leave out a lot of details. Okay, it's going to be 2 type of writers. They're either going to put too much information in the story, or they're not going to put enough in the story. And I normally work with people that don't put enough information in the story. So making sure that you're making it as detailed as possible. If you're talking about a house, for example, what type of house is it? Is it one of the 2-story houses? Is it a brick house? Is it a wooden house? I mean, all of that matters. The details matter. The details matter. So thank y'all so much for listening today to my live. I appreciate you. This is 3 quick steps in order to write your book. 3 quick steps to write your book. Y'all, the main thing is just get started. You can never finish something that you never started. I was at church yesterday, and ironically, that pastor said the same thing. He said, you can't finish anything that you didn't start. So I'm saying the same thing to you. You can't finish anything that you don't start. So start writing your book. If you have questions, you guys are always able to reach out to me. Again, my name is LaNette Kincaid. I am the writing coach LK on every single platform. Also, you're able to go to my website at writingcoachlk.com, writingcoachlk.com. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening.